everybody, it's your girl Sherry. Welcome back to another episode of Alleged Actually podcast. Y'all, it is so good to be back nice and healthy, and I'm so happy to be back with my Bravo Bestie Joey. What's up, Joey?
Why, hello, how are you?
Good. Great time to be a Bravo fan, is it not?
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot
going on.
Yes. So, y'all, last week I was down sick and unable to do the part 1 reunion recap. And so Joey and I finally got a chance to get together and do it today. So our focus will be mainly on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and the reunion part 1, season 5. But before we get into that, because we haven't got a chance to talk, so I need to get your thoughts, Joey. 2 things.
Yeah.
So since we're not doing Beverly Hills tonight, I wanted to know what were your thoughts on Textgate and Kyle storming out on the ladies.
I'm so happy we're going to talk about that real quick because it's the Kyle Richards that, like, I always knew existed. I'm sure you always knew existed. She's a liar. She's a backstabber. She's a friend to no one besides herself. It was exactly what we wanted to see. And I feel like it was like the first time we really seen like all the ladies kind of be like, wait a minute, something's like not right here. And the thing that kills me is like she read the text like so like nonchalantly as if it wasn't going to show that she's a huge liar. You literally spent an entire episode like dragging Dorit about like we just send texts and memes and da-da-da-da. And then you say like nothing you ever shared I would ever say or like repeat blah blah. So you're lying to everyone and then you put it on national TV as if like it wasn't a big deal.
Yes.
But in true Kyle Richards fashion, she found a way to flip everything and once again reprise her role of professional victim. She might at this point honestly be worse than like Melissa Gorga, which I can't believe I'm saying. I just like don't understand people like that. It just blows my mind. Like zero self-awareness, zero apologies, zero like reflection. You know, to break like the fourth wall and like storm out like you're the victim. I quit. And all I thought to myself was, thank God she's finally gone. And she was gone for like 10 minutes of an episode, I guess. But like
I know.
You know, like girl, don't play with us. You know that you want that job.
Desperately wants it. Could not stand it if she was not on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So let's be clear, Kyle. We knew that, but it was good that she finally got exposed and, like you said, in front of all the ladies. And it was good to me because all that she did, all that, and then when you read it, she looked stupid, very stupid,
so stupid, and like I don't like anyone to ever be like ganged up on, even if I dislike them, I guess. But like. She had like one person supporting her, I guess, like Erica. But like, shame on you, Erica, because she was no friend to you when you were down and out.
Sure was not.
You know what I mean? I didn't see her like defending you, and I'm sorry, but when people are attacking you and she's sitting there silent, hello. You know, it's just like not okay. So I don't know.
No, I agree. So. That was the big takeaway of Beverly Hills. Even though we're not recapping it, we'll get back to Beverly Hills. We're going to wrap up Salt Lake City because I always believe reunions deserve a full recap of their own. But before, again, one more Bravo moment I need to get your thoughts on, and that was the finale of Real Housewives of New York and the whole unveiling of Bryn.
All right, so in comparison, right, we also, because then I was sick, didn't really talk about the finale of Salt Lake City, which I don't know about you, I was like super like let down by it. I thought like we had this like phenomenal, like possibly top season of all time across any franchises, like one that will go down in history. And then the finale came and I was like so disappointed.
Yeah.
I thought like the buildup was like way too much. I think that production and the ladies alike were so hell-bent on having to like beat like last year, which like you'll never beat like last year's finale. It was insane.
No.
it seemed so overly produced, so scripted, so planned. Like, it was just, I felt like not good. Like, there was like no like shocking moments. It was just like the game seemed like contrived by like production. Of course, Heather's like their puppet, and she'll do anything to stay on like the show.
Of course.
Some of those texts like were not Brittany and Lisa. Come on, those were not your meanest texts.
They were not.
You know, I kudos to like Angie and like kudos to like Mary for showing like actual like good text. You know, I don't know. I was like super like let down. So then I felt like, getting back to the actual question. I thought that the finale of New York was so much better than the finale of Salt Lake City. It was explosive. And I felt like it was like so dark though.
It was. Like
something that I feel like we're not really used to seeing. Like it was just like a lot. And you know me, I've been a Brynn fan. I defend Brynn. I don't like Uba at all. I think she's awful. I still think Uba's awful. But as far as the finale goes, I knew by Uba's emotions that there was no way she was lying about this.
Yeah.
And we also know Brynn to like embellish like the truth or like lie or whatever, but it's always been like in like fun pot stirring, makes like the show interesting. This was like the opposite of that. It was like not fun. It was like not exciting. It was gross.
It was.
You were gonna let all the other women like think this horrible thing about Uba. You know what I mean? It was just like, and I for me, like I'm curious what the reunion's gonna be like. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Brynn's not gonna have a good time at it. Mm-mm. Not that I believe Uba should either, but I just think like there's no way back for Brynn from this. I don't see any road back on the show for her at all. I think it was something that will like probably go down in like Bravo history as like one of like the most disgraceful exits we've like ever seen, you know, but I mean, ugh.
I know. It
was rough.
It was rough. I did manage to crawl out of my sick coma for like 20 minutes to come on because, like you said, it was so dark. I was so disturbed. Like I wanted to say something. I literally, because I don't watch it regularly, and I happened to just tune in for the finale, and I just was sitting there like,
I know.
I agree with you, Joey. It's going to go down in history as one of the most disgraceful exits of a housewife. And I hate that for Brynn because...
So do I.
I do. But I honestly am at the thought that reality TV is not for her right now.
No.
That went way too far.
And
way
to be honest, like, where is she? Like, she's not going to get like another like reality TV job like that. No, I mean, maybe she'll be on like House of Villains, like The Traitors, like next or something, but...
Maybe.
I mean, like it was bad.
That's bad.
It was like Diana Jenks, like Jenkins, like level bad. Like
it was.
You know what I mean? It was like Jen Shah, like level bad. It was like something like that.
That was one of those that just left your mouth open, like, oh my gosh, yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, now we're gonna get to the reunion and part one for me. Had its moments. I wasn't blown away by part one. I don't know. Okay. But one of the things I always love to do before we get into the reunion is always talk about what the ladies were wearing. So I'm going to put all of them up on the screen for a second. And then Joey and I are going to tell you our favorites of the night. And we can do a favorite and an honorable mention to make it a little bit fair because there were some toss-ups there. Joey, I'm going to let you go first.
I had a really hard time with like my top two. I'm going to give best dress to Mary. I decided after all. Right. I just think this dress, I think it's like different. I think it's her. I think she looks so beautiful.
I agree.
It isn't like too much. It isn't like too little. I just think that she looks incredible.
I agree.
Absolutely incredible.
I agree.
However, a very close honorable mention for me was Meredith.
Okay. All right, yeah.
And I will say, look at her.
She does look good.
I mean, it is, I will say, without like the jacket thing, it wasn't a little plain to me.
Yeah.
But like this look, like right here, I mean, she's a 10 out of 10. I think she's beautiful anyway.
She is.
But I mean, like this outfit, it just like suits her, and she's had some really bad outfits in like the past.
She has.
For the reunions, like I'm so happy that there's like no like feathers flying or any like weird. It's just it's absolutely gorgeous. But I did end up giving her my runner-up. I thought that Mary like knocked it out of the park.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, I went with Angie K.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yes. It was just something about, and when I first saw it, I had a hard time because at first, when they first revealed them, I was like, God, I don't love any of them. But when I really started looking, I was like, you know what? This to me was such a, my eye just kept going to it. And then when I really looked at her necklace that kind of went down, that was a cool accessory. Her hair, it all just did what it was supposed to do. And she looked so pretty in that. I really liked the way she looked. So
I think she's so pretty in general.
I think she is too.
And I think she has some great style.
I agree. I totally agree. So I had to give it to my girl, Angie K. Now for me, my honorable mention goes to Mary Cosby. I agree with you. It was different. It was so her. She looked absolutely beautiful. It was just enough. The accessories, everything went well. The hair, she looked great. And I love that for Mary. I mean, to me, it's just indicative of the fact that, you know, she did her thing this season. And so it was good to see her bring her look. And like I said, Mary's going to be Mary. And she did it in a beautiful way. Love the dress on her. So.
And she's come like such like a long way from like season 1, and people like made fun of her like tired like wigs and stuff. And she was like, I know, I hated it when I watched it back too. And like she was killing it this season with like the looks.
She looks so good. She does. She really does. So y'all, the reunion as it starts, per everyone, everybody's coming out. And we do know that first seats go to Lisa and to Angie. And Angie makes the comment that she went from bench warming bitch to first chair. I thought that was so good.
She sure did. Angie K, you did that.
She did that. I mean, I was like, okay, because honestly, I don't know many that don't know that I can recall one that has done it that quick. So
and we've talked about this. Like her glow up on like the show should be like studied. Agreed. She went from like a friend of to almost like obsolete to coming back in like a supporting role way where everyone like hated her. Like her like was it last season her like first like real season? Everyone like hated everyone like hated her.
Yes.
And then to come back this season like a whole like different person. I mean, it was again like you said, so fast.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. It was crazy, but I was here for it. So everybody came out. Andy acknowledged everyone as usual, and then when he did his check-in, he did say, asked Mary at this point how things were going with Robert Jr., and she says that he's doing really good, which is good for us all to hear. We did find out that Angie and Brittany had the same dress at some point, which, but of course, Angie won. And true to Angie K form, here she comes again. She said that this was good for the economy because she keeps her clothes and she doesn't return them. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Throw that shade, Angie. Throw that shade.
She does that, honey. She is good at it. Okay.
Like, didn't you feel like Miss Perfection Fabulous and Lisa Barlow? Her dress was like a little plain, right?
Listen, because you know what, I kind of wrestled with, do we do a worse dress? And if we were I was gonna give it to Lisa. And I know that I don't know if everyone agreed, but I don't think that look came together for her at all.
It was just blasé, I thought.
Yes, I did not like it at all. I did not love the over the shoulder and then the different. No, Lisa, I've seen Lisa come together a whole lot better than that. And I was surprised that was not her best look by any means. No. No. So Andy because they tend to, you got Lisa over here in one ear and you got Angie K in the other ear. So Andy's like, look, let me go ahead and establish some safe words, which was smart.
Yeah.
Of course, Lisa chooses Bezos and Angie K doesn't disappoint. It is Opa all day, baby.
I had no idea she was Greek.
Right. How would we know? Another thing that Andy has started doing, I noticed recently with the reunions, he always starts off by asking the ladies if they have, like, what are their intentions? Were there any intentions for the night? And Bronwyn piped in and said that she was looking forward to straightening some things out with people. And she looked back over the season and saw where she kind of wanted to give some apologies and also get some.
Yeah, it's rare we hear a housewife say that.
It's very rare. And I have a question for you. We're going to get to it, but I do want to, because I'm not even going to bring up Heather's comment, but I do want to ask you, Joey, what are your thoughts? Did you think we got the full Bronwyn, or do you think we got a buttoned up Bronwyn at part 1?
She was different. Mm-hmm. I think, though, that I can't imagine what it must be like to watch yourself back on national television.
Yeah.
And, like, there's, like, lots of pieces that go into that. I think that, obviously, you don't see yourself in, like, live action, like, ever in, like, life, right? So to watch it back initially is one thing. And then on top of that, we know that it's a show for entertainment and they're trying to get views and money. So, like, the way things are edited can be, like, different. So I feel like she did something that we like, don't see a lot, though. She did some like reflection after like watching back her season, which we don't normally see that. We just see most housewives like double down on everything that they did like that season. So I feel like her maybe silence or way of speaking differently was just like her. She had like that reflective moment, and she changed a little bit from the reunion.
I could see that.
Personally, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and this is just part 1. So, as things get into it, we may, and I'm not saying I want to see her undone and going at anyone, but she just seemed very, but you know what? I would give her this. She can pull it together. Her poise and grace and her intelligence comes out high level. I mean, she is not someone that Lisa can certainly mince words with. I mean, it just.
No. But to see, that's a really good point. That's like the big difference, right? She doesn't have to get like loud and scream and all that to get her point across. Because when she says stuff, she says it with such conviction. And like you said, so poised, she doesn't stutter. Syllable. No. And it's very intense to hear her like talk like that. You know what I mean? Like, because like when she says something like I listen. I know she means business.
Me too. I agree. The other housewife that was setting an intention is our dear sweet Whitney. And she wants to get down to the root of where problems lie between her and Lisa. And she hopes to get a word in so she can have a conversation with her. And, I find that funny because all season I've noticed anytime that her and Lisa get into it, she always results to screaming, "Shut the F up, Lisa, and let me talk." And I'm thinking, good gracious. This poor girl. And don't get me wrong, Whitney gets on my nerves like she does most people. But I feel for her sometimes because I do think she suffers from feeling unheard, unseen, belittled, typecasted, you name it. And she's fighting for her voice and some, and I think her intentions are good. I mean, she's messy at times, but I think she genuinely wants to be okay in some of these relationships and wants to understand what the issue is. And Lisa just...
Yeah, I agree. I think that Whitney had probably one of her best seasons I've seen her have in the past. Yeah. I mean, she actually said stuff like made sense this season. And I was like, wait a minute, did I just agree with like Whitney? Like, there's no way. I think she's like super funny. I think that, I mean, she was, let me tell you, the least of some of the evils on like that show, like this season.
Yeah.
Especially. And I mean, it is sad that she does feel like that way. It definitely comes across that way. She feels like unheard. But I mean, like, I'm sure if you like pulled like the couches, almost everyone there feels unheard around Lisa. I mean, let's be honest.
She won't give it to him, honey. She just
won't.
can't.
And it's so sad because I still, to this day, unpopular opinion, and maybe, I love Lisa still. I think that she's great TV. I think that without her, the show would be boring. But I mean, like, I'm not blind to, girl, stop talking. You know who she gives me? She gives me a little bit of my all-time fave, Teresa Giudice. I feel like they are very, very similar. Yes. Only I do believe that Lisa like does like a lot of like things where I feel like Teresa, they just like try to blame stuff on her. That's like some of the times like not really her.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the fighting, they are the same.
Relentless. Yes, they just keep going and going and going, and I definitely can see that. I can see that. Totally see that. So yeah. So they then get to where they do their montage of flashbacks of the drama from the seasons. You know, your biggest controversy, you had Lisa and Angie because Whitney repeated the Lisa and Angie with the whole thing about the gaming thing with her saying that she doesn't let her daughter sit in front of a video game. God forbid. Yeah, that was that one. Then you had the whole Alibaba thing. And then, which included Adam, the podcaster.
They spent a lot of time giving Adam props on this show.
Right? I know. I'm like, dude.
I don't know who his PR person is, but let me tell you. I don't know what we got to do. Like, I'll get on the phone with like one of them. I'll like.
I'm trying to tell you, he was a central part of the season, and
incredible. Good for you, Adam.
Okay, shout out to Up and Adam, y'all. I mean, he did that.
He did. I don't even know if it was like intentional, but I mean, like, God bless you.
I don't know, but I mean, good gracious, totally a part of the storyline. I'm surprised Andy didn't like get him to at least I mean, it's just part one, but get him to pipe in. I mean, I don't know, but
that's a good point.
Because he would have.
Oh, he's been very, very vocal on social media.
Very.
So yeah, and apparently he like Meredith has his phone number. He like talks to Lisa. He talks to Whitney. Like
he does. He's connected, honey.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Meredith's phone number.
I would love to. Run me the digits, Meredith. Good gracious. Listen.
Meredith, I'm a nice little gay Jewish boy from Connecticut. We would get along so well.
You would love Joey, Meredith. The digits. So yeah, there's that. So then we open up with Andy asking a viewer question to Whitney and asking her to explain why Alibaba had the same stock photo as the Prism as Prism did on the website. And she explains it was a placeholder, that they were in the process, her partners in Vancouver, getting a model, getting the photos, and then it was only up for like 48 hours. I really think the whole Alibaba thing just really, I mean, I certainly get why Whitney was so upset. But I feel like it took on more of life than it should have.
Yes. I completely agree. Plus, I don't know. I mean, I know Whitney like lies a lot. I just like don't see this one like playing through the way that it was like described. I really don't.
No,
I feel like she's like way too smart for that. Like, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah. I mean, and the way that they go through great lengths to get it, particularly in business and things like, I just don't see her making a mistake like that or even trying to go out like that.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. And so then they ask Lisa why she brought it up when it came from a blogger and why bring it to camera. And then Meredith says, well, actually, I was trying to do you a favor by saying something, about it instead of it being behind your back. And, everybody questions her and Lisa about the fact that, so you felt like it was better for you to bring it on this platform that's like a national platform versus, what he said. It just, they made themselves look crazy there. There was no argument. They did that on purpose.
Yeah, and like you didn't bring it forward to her. You brought it to Heather.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
but remember, they weren't speaking at the time, so that's
please, they were on a trip together. Talk to her.
I know.
She was like 3 feet away.
I was so cracked up. I was like, ladies, you tried it. Anyway, from there, we get a viewer question from Angie on the fact that she feel like Heather prioritizes her friendship with Lisa over hers, and which the question or the answer is absolutely yes. Angie answered it really diplomatically, though. She really didn't come for Heather like I would have thought. So obviously there's some love there. But basically, Heather defends herself by saying, look, I have this loyalty and, this newfound, fresh relationship with Lisa. And basically, like, she's trying to double down and be like, yeah, basically my loyalty was with her. It's very desperate, but
Heather is a pick-me. Heather's always been a pick-me from season 1. And what's funny is Lisa's the one to call her out on being a pick-me in season 1. And now they're like butt buddies. I don't know what's happening with the two of them, why that is. Heather is a pick-me girl. It's so obvious. She is an awful human being, at least from what we see on like this TV show. I feel bad saying that.
Yeah.
But like, and Lisa loves a soldier. So
she does.
Lisa's not gonna, do anything to Heather or go back on Heather because she has a soldier that will follow her blind here, there, everywhere, no matter how she acts.
Yep.
And that's why. Because whereas Angie is an actual friend to Heather who will say, this, that, and the other thing, Lisa would never. Because she got herself a soldier.
Exactly. So you're right. I mean, that was pretty open and shut there. Then they get into the whole who said what on camera about the thing with the video games. And when she said, I got to get out the phone and call Electra. And she said, yeah, well, I have to take care of my daughter. And the whole video game thing. Then Bronwyn gets in because basically the idea was Lisa doesn't like it that Angie repeated something that she said. However, Lisa told Bronwyn the conversation about how she was so angry about the video game comment as if it alluded that she didn't take care of her child. And Bronwyn kind of called her out. They were like, so it's fine for this couch to repeat stories, but not us. Mm-hmm.
Which is a completely accurate statement.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Lisa is a walking double standard.
Oh, so much so. And then it wears me out. I know they have their moments, but Meredith even backing her up because I don't know. I mean, Meredith can get unhinged or whatever, but she seems to have more sense as far as seeing, well, I guess it depends. I was gonna say I'm seeing herself. No, maybe I'm wrong. Let me backtrack that statement. I'm wrong.
I don't know. I love me some Meredith. I don't know if she has that.
Seems like I think it seems like she's more in touch with she has more empathy, I guess, than Lisa does.
I mean, no doubt.
Because Lisa just doesn't seem to have any, but
oh yeah. And I also feel like Meredith does have more like self-reflection.
I think so.
Than Lisa too, 100%.
Yeah.
Even though I wish Meredith would like not have her blinders on all the time and maybe like be an actual friend and like tell Lisa like you should apologize, like that was like wrong, don't. But again though, it's like the soldier thing, and I don't know why they just like let Lisa go. I don't know.
I don't either. I'm still trying to figure that out. I part of my thing with watching these shows, I love to analyze the women, and I'm still doing my study there because I don't have that one figured out yet. So yeah.
I almost like it's like so obvious, and I'm like, is it by like design? Like, are they being told like just to not check like Lisa? I don't know. Is that part of her contract? No one can ever check me.
sometimes I think, because if I was sitting there and something was as blatant as particularly what we're going to get into in just a second, I would be like, yo, are you not listening to what's being said? Two things can be true. Maybe you didn't mean to, but you did. So, acknowledge. But
anyway. Yeah, I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Hold on, I have a real quick sidebar.
Okay, yes.
You forgot to mention something very important.
Okay.
Rihanna follows Bronwyn.
Yes, that is right.
And Rihanna has DM'd Bronwyn.
Yes.
And you know that Heather is dying on the inside.
You know she is.
And I loved that the camera pans to Heather when they're talking about it. And her I don't know, botched face. It was just like poetry. Like, Rihanna, you know what's up. Heather's old news. We hate her now. And Bronwyn is the new shiny toy.
Bronwyn is that girl. Yes, I love it. And yes, she look, where's no comeback from that? Rihanna is following me, says not you. Yeah. Yeah. And yes, we all know that Heather wishes that was her. So
well, right? Wasn't it season 1 that Rihanna was following Heather?
She was, wasn't she?
Right.
She was.
But she's no longer the new shiny toy.
She is not. And she's also reached out to Mary. Mary said on Watch What Happens Live. So.
Oh, you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Rihanna's like a diehard Bravo fan. It makes her more relatable than I already love her so much anyway.
I know. Andy says that's his dream guest for Watch What Happens Live. I so hope that he can get her. I don't know, but
you would think that she would want to do it. She has a ton of opinions. So. She's always doing it on her own. She spends red carpets talking about the Real Housewives.
She does.
Girl, get in that clubhouse.
Get in there, please. Give us our 30 minutes.
Imagine the ratings.
Yeah, they would go through the roof. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, 2025 is still young. We shall see.
Sure.
So basically, Andy asked where Angie and Lisa stand now. And she said that, at one point when they were at the aquarium, they seemed to have made up. And of course, at the dinner, things were left as they were. Angie said that she would prefer to address her there at the reunion because, text and things can get misconstrued. And of course, we find out that though there was not a text, there was a tweet where she said that Lisa has a Park City mystery man that pays for her lip fillers.
I don't know why. And again, I know that's when I talked about that's contracted. You have to tweet and stuff, But Angie, girl, no.
She can't help herself. I think that is just her defense mechanism. And before she knows it, it's either out of her mouth or them Twitter fingers are going.
But the odd thing is Lisa's probably the only cast member that besides Bronwyn, because she's new, that didn't go after Angie's marriage.
No.
So saying that about Lisa is just why?
Because of what Lisa said when she brought her into the argument at the dinner about Shah.
You know what? That is valid.
Mm-hmm.
That is valid. And the thing that's sad about that was girl, you were attacking the wrong person.
Completely the wrong person.
I don't understand. You just beeline for Angie. She had nothing to do with the conversation.
Nothing at all. It made zero sense. I didn't get it. She tried to explain it, but it still made no sense. There was plenty of stuff that you could have threw back at Whitney. So why did you go for Angie? Don't know. That was crazy.
So bizarre. And I really hope that on this reunion that they really get into that.
I hope so.
What was it about Whitney's text that made you attack someone that wasn't Whitney?
I have no idea. I was sitting there girl. And I hope they find some clarity on that because, we talk about that, the husbands come out, but I feel so bad for Angie K's husband, Sean. He is the nicest, most supportive husband, and he has not deserved the foolishness that has come out of all of this. He does not, and I hope they get down to business with that. But that will be for next week, y'all, or later this week. At any rate, this is when we find out Meredith posted that Angie brings up the Meredith posted that she was a backup dancer for Jen Shah. And y'all, again, it's so silly, but this is the kind of stuff that the silliness in me loves, because I sat there again and just busted out laughing. And y'all, I had to do my due diligence. I went back and watched that video. Angie was not officially a backup dancer.
No.
She was a star. Okay.
She wasn't a backup dancer at all.
She didn't even dance, honey. She had her fan. She was.
Yeah.
I was like.
And it was like a silly, like, social media video. Yes. And I feel like we spent like an awkward amount of time at the reunion fighting about this.
It was tearing Angie up for some reason, because I would have been like, girl, you tried it. But she kept going, I am not a backup dancer. Ever since I was 6, I was solo, honey. I'm no one's backup dancer. And Meredith was like, yeah, you did the WAP video with Jen and Monica, and it was so stupid, y'all. But it made me laugh because it was so stupid. And that Angie was not backing down. She was not playing. For some reason, that really, really offended her. I don't know.
Bench warmer, backup dancer. I mean, maybe that's just that's listen, that's where it's.
Yeah, listen, you just never know what lands, and those are the things that landed. And then it was Lisa said mazel to Meredith's response to her, saying that the only scroll that she reads is the Torah. And Lisa's like, well, I'm Jewish. And, I thought that was an amazing thing. And Angie's like, okay, so you didn't see that was in response to me. And y'all, it was crazy. And then Angie said that that Lisa's G-Wagon was getting repossessed. Which y'all know for Lisa, honey, that is blasphemy. She was like, no, ma'am, I got this in my garage. I'm going to get a new 1911. Like, what do you mean? Where did you get that from? And we find out she got it from Bronwyn, who got it from some snarky texter. Child, it just gets messier and messier, but it is funny to me. And then we get down to the necklace, the jewelry, the Bronwyn thing. Now, Joey, let me get your thoughts, because a lot of people went back and forth on that. I mean,
I still don't know. For me, I'm just so confused why a jeweler would call Lisa about what Todd purchased. It doesn't make any sense to me. Nope. And they kind of all said, no matter what, this is awful for that jeweler on national TV.
Oh yeah.
Way to wreck your whole reputation in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, the jewelry story. And I mean, for Bronwyn to say I just wish you would just post them or something. You know what I mean? Where are your receipts you say that you have? But at the same time, who cares?
Well, that's kind of where I'm at.
Lisa, you're so petty. You're mad about a rumor about your G-Wagon being possessed, but here you are doing the same thing. Well, that jeweler called me and told me that you didn't buy anything. What? The jeweler randomly called you?
Yeah, right. First of all, I do not believe that. No. I believe Lisa reached out to her, which it was Emma, who actually worked for the jeweler. I guess she works as she gets pieces for high-end clients, brings them to them to see if they want them, whatever. But no, Lisa even said, because they were like, so you mean to tell me? She was just Angie's she was like, hello, hey, yeah, so Brahma didn't buy anything. I mean, it just sounded stupid. Clearly, Lisa reached out to her, in my opinion. That's allegedly. I don't know. I would more say that Lisa reached out to her. She said that prior to that, they hadn't spoken in 2 years.
Yeah, but also, right, we always talk about, 2 things can be true at the same time. So I wonder if like wires are crossed, because Bronwyn's the first one to say that $4 million necklace is not what we bought. We bought something smaller.
Yeah.
So like maybe it was, oh, well, they didn't buy anything at that house on vacation. And that's what Lisa's like running with, and doesn't maybe know that they ended up buying something smaller. Hoop earrings, not the ones we saw, a smaller necklace. But again, who cares?
It doesn't matter. A lot of people are going back and forth because when Bronwyn was on Watch What Happens Live, then she says she didn't buy anything because of the fact that Emma reached out to Lisa. So they were saying Bronwyn was caught in a lie. But no, first of all, let's be clear. If she wanted to buy something, she could. So it doesn't matter. And, you know, people getting caught up on the fact that Bronwyn was lying about the jewelry. I think, no, the bigger picture is, like I said, the jeweler was messy. Timelines of when she reached out to Lisa or whatever. And, you know, because when she was on Watch What Happens Live, the reunion had already been taped. So there's that. So she may have and sent the pieces back. I don't know, but.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's also like at this point in like the reunion, I feel like the chaos like starts to like ensue though. And I feel like this like attack on Bronwyn from like multiple angles, I felt like it was like, it seemed like so like pre-planned.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I think that it just boils down to like, they're jealous of her. They're jealous that she came in as the new girl and became like the fan favorite on her first season. And none of them can handle it.
No.
And it was like so like gross to see. Like I felt like it was like so obvious this was like their plan.
Oh, yeah.
To go after Bronwyn because like why not? You know?
Yeah, they tried. I mean, she held her own, but they definitely came for her. And to no avail. But we go from that, basically, we really then kind of get into, first we get into the viewer question about Heather, about her weight loss, and whether that made her more of a mean girl. First, she tried to say, you know, no, that she was much more mean when she was heavier because she was the underdog. Y'all, key word, if y'all peep that, when she said, then when I was heavier, I was the underdog. To me, that makes everything clear. She just outed herself and what we all know and thought. You thought you were the underdog when you were heavier. Now that you're smaller and you feel like you look better, now you're out there trying to be the it girl. Mm-hmm.
Nice catch.
Yeah. And so, because that's just how you felt. So we definitely see a change. Mary chimes in and does it again. But I think she does it in love. This time she told her that, Heather, you are different. You like yourself more. You're pouring more love into yourself. When she met her 5 years ago, she was in a very dark place. She was, you know, had a lot of heavy things going on. And she was like, you know, at this point, you're more self-assured and more confident. So saying that nicely, Mary, the truth is, yes, she's become a mean girl because now she thinks that she can get with them. She feels more able to fit in now. She is smaller. And I know, I mean, I'm sure it was difficult for her then. But she says that she is more happy now. And she even mentioned being in a stretchy jumpsuit with all these ladies. And I'm sure before, like I said, body image.
Giving happy vibes though, is she? Like to you?
She is not. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry, I'm still recovering from my cold. But no, I don't think she's giving happy vibes. But I've certainly seen her feeling herself a little bit.
Yeah, like I thought like that like viewer question was just like kind of gross. I don't think that we should really be commenting on like people's bodies in general. True. But also like in saying that, like the question like wasn't wrong.
No.
Like you did like lose a bunch of weight. And again, like if you want to lose a bunch of weight on Ozempic, like go for it. Plus, like she's never like denied it.
No.
You know what I mean? And I can like respect that. And like if that's what makes you happy, do it. At least like she's like owning it. But there's no doubt that she's changed and is not for the better.
No, I agree. whether it's weight loss, whether it was the hype from the finale of season 4 that kind of catapulted her to the front, whatever it is, it has not changed her for the better. I agree. And maybe with enough of the calling out from the viewer, Mary's text, maybe she'll self-reflect.
I doubt it, but like if they don't see like she is like the catalyst of like the Salt Lake City chaos, like she really is. Like she's the one running to everyone, like saying different things. Like I think that she like thrives on like the drama. I don't know. I'm just like not here for her. And she was like one of my favorites like a season or 2 ago.
I did mine too. So I hate this for her, but listen. At any rate, they do some more. So now we get into the whole Lisa, Bronwyn, Gwen issue.
Rough.
That was rough. That eats up a lot of really what the crust of part 1 was about. Now, I understood. I felt bad for Bronwyn. A couple things though. So the background, I guess, guys, if you don't know, Lisa and Bronwyn had a conversation where she confided in Lisa about her daughter's father, who is now deceased. They met in college, and you also have to keep in mind that they were Mormon, and so because some people are like, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is in the Mormon church to have a child out of wedlock is a very big deal. So when she got pregnant, his parents, didn't want any parts of that. And so she basically went on off, had Gwen, made the decision to not contact them, to just raise her daughter without any kind of interaction with that side of the family at all. And then she did confide in Lisa. Lisa apparently knew her Gwen's deceased father's family, was friends with them. And from there, it became, she was confiding in Lisa because she thought that her and Lisa had this great friendship, and we'll get into that a little bit. And then Lisa goes on the after show and is talking to Brittany, of all people, about it. Right? And then it comes out that she said that the grandparents, the deceased father's parents, were under the assumption that Gwen had a miscarriage. And, that among other things, the fact that she's talking about it, the fact that she said that, because they had a conversation where, and I don't know if you watched the Peacock unedited version of it. In the
I did.
Okay, well, when they showed the footage that was unseen, and they may have done it in the regular one too, where they show Lisa and Bronwyn talking about when Lisa brings up, oh, well, they said that they thought, that perhaps that they were told that you had a miscarriage, and Bronwyn had asked producers to remove that for the fact that, that would really hurt Gwen, and she didn't want that out there. And plus, she's trying to, keep things. She doesn't want to say too much about that family. Apparently, that family is powerful, has some money. But then Lisa goes on the after show and talks about it and says it. So, bottom line, Bronwyn is really trying to get some sort of apology, some acknowledgement, something from Lisa, and it's just not happening. I don't know, Joey. What did you think? I was like, girl.
I, again, go back to that. I think that two things can be true at the same time. I truthfully, well, first off, you mentioned it briefly, but obviously Lisa and Bronwyn saw their friendship differently.
Yes.
Whereas Bronwyn thought that like her and Lisa were like close. And Bronwyn, I think when she was coming on the show, thought that like her and Lisa were going to have like their close bond, which clearly did not happen because Lisa, I guess, did not think that they were like that close. They thought that they were like social friends, which is sad for Bronwyn in the first place. I think that obviously this hurt Bronwyn like a lot. She got very emotional. I can't imagine. Plus, like, she clearly doesn't want to be talking about this situation or her daughter or anything on like national television. It's like a lot. At the same time, I can't help but feel like Lisa's tears and emotion was also real. I truthfully do not believe that this was malicious. I don't believe that Lisa did it to be mean. I don't believe that Lisa did it to get back at Bronwyn. I just don't. I mean, people might disagree with me, come at me. I just think, but here's my issue. The fact that Lisa can never apologize for anything blows my mind, because all that needed to be said was, Bronwyn, that was never my intention whatsoever. The fact that you are hurt by this, or I hurt you in a situation, or Gwen, sure, I said I love you. I'm so sorry if it came off that way. If you feel that way, that was never my intention. And guess what? It would be freaking over.
Yeah.
But instead, she has to double down and be the victim in every single scenario. It's crazy.
It is insane.
Insane.
It is insane. To me, I think her tears were real, Joey, but for me, I found her emotion, started to sink in when she started to see that, oh my God, I look bad.
Oh, right.
She was like, oh, this is a lose-lose situation. And I felt like, so your tears are for yourself, because now you think like you look like, the bad person, because you've outed this story on this poor family, particularly this poor teenage girl who, and to me, it still seemed more about herself. I mean, and you're right. Like, even when Meredith said, you didn't mean to hurt them, just say, did you mean to, and she's like, I would never want to hurt you and Gwen. And then she hops right in there. But at the same point, these people are great. I'm like, girl,
Right. You almost made it there. That was your moment to say,
I know.
But I'm sorry that it hurt you. Right.
Right. She just would not give Bronwyn any of that. And Bronwyn tried, and it wasn't so much. And, she was like, you're trying to tell me what to say. And I didn't feel like it was that. I really felt like Bronwyn was just trying to lead her to say, okay, maybe here's the scenarios that really were, because I don't want to believe that you would intentionally, or that you do have some remorse for hurting me or even hurting my daughter. It just didn't land. She even looked over at Whitney once and was like, she's just not going to see this. And Whitney's just like,
Yeah, I don't know. Whitney was very, very quiet at this reunion, wasn't she?
She was. She really was. And then that was odd. I know she said when they first sat down that she was like, I'm not going to be able to see over Bronwyn's shoulder, because, Bronwyn has the big shoulder, the big.
That dress, I did not enjoy that.
I didn't either, Joey. And I mean, I wanted to for her. I know that she has a different style, very fashion forward, very different. But I just did not like that at all. It didn't do anything for her.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
No, it didn't. No. I love the whole heart jacket. I love that. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling that dress. No. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see the conversation continue in part 2, especially the husbands. I don't know, man. Let me tell you right now. If John Barlow, I think he's a great husband, even though I feel like sometimes, again, which maybe he does off camera, never disrespect someone on camera. Back them on camera, talks to them off camera. But
right.
Lisa, girl, But let me tell you now, John Barlow, God bless you, because I wouldn't go toe to toe with Todd.
That would be dumb. That would be dumb. That would be dumb. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, you bring up the next point. Pretty much after that, they break for lunch, and he brings the husbands out. What I did like, there wasn't a whole lot. They did show them in between eating lunch, each one of them retreated to have lunch or to their dressing rooms. Was the conversation with Bronwyn and Todd when she was like, she lets them know what had been said, and the fact that, she just realized they weren't friends like she thought. And he was like, no, you were more like social friends. You were more of a social friend to her. And she was like, no, more of a social climb. And I thought, Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, she could get in our Utah Jazz box and not have to do nothing. And I went, ooh.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Todd, that is some top tier shade, my friend.
Was it
oh
not? I was
God.
like,
Oh my God.
God. Okay. Because I was like, boom.
Yeah. Oh, that one got me a little. Whew.
Okay. Yes.
Miss Barlow is not going to like that.
No, she is not. So Todd, they come out. Todd is ready for him because he is over Lisa and those antics. So yeah. After that,
I also like that they brought it up on at the end of the reunion, and they talked about it on Watch What Happens Live. How Todd's done a lot of reflection watching the show back with her as well about how they speak to each other, how they communicate, and that things have gotten much better from both sides, which you don't hear that very often, especially from a husband.
No, you don't. You don't. And particularly someone like a Todd, a powerful man that's, set in his ways. And, I love that. I love that for them. It makes, to me, definitely, they said that they came out stronger as a couple, and I see them stronger as a couple. I love that. It's the united front, the reflection. They both verbalize that when they come back. And that was one of the first questions Andy has for them about, him being on the season. And Bronwyn talks about looking back how she realized her snarkiness and her defense mechanism of trying to get ahead of the joke by kind of setting the joke herself could come across as disrespectful to him and her marriage. And then he too reflected on the fact that he can be very direct. So I love that
I was shocked to see him there. I was expecting him to be a no-show, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, because you would think someone like him would think, this is stupid. This is beneath me. I'm not playing with this. Yeah.
And I mean, you could tell he did not enjoy his time on the show. No. So I mean, kudos to him for showing up because the only reason he's doing it is out of respect for his wife. So
I know, and I love that. When they do come out and they address that about how they've gotten stronger and everything. Then, Andy asked, were there things that, you two had agreed that would be off limits on the show? And of course, Todd goes into one of those big things. He calls her Gwendolyn. And I love that he was protective. He's been in Gwen's life since she was 8, 10 years. And, he was not here for the mention of an alleged miscarriage. And then here comes John, who said, who's the one, who are you alluding to? Whatever. He was like, your wife's the one that brought it up. And Bronwyn kept trying to interject that he's talking about the after show. But I think, everybody should know that because they had already spoke about that at length. And Lisa keeps trying to jump in there and explain. And then John hits Todd with the watch your tone. And he was like, you watch, I'm not watching my tone. You watch your tone. Y'all, that's kind of where it ended. But, did you catch when he said, he made the comment about her bringing up that the miscarriage part, he said, the liturgist, in the sense of, or no, I'm using the wrong word. The word that he used to me insinuated that it could be the makings of a lawsuit. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch that. Mm-hmm. But I'll be honest, even without catching that, I always wondered if this was going to end up in a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. I just feel he's old school. That's the world they come from. He's big in business. That's how the business world operates. And I feel all we see in the media now, it's everything's lawsuits about defamation, Absolutely. About lying, about whatever. It's so common that I didn't even catch that, but I thought that anyway.
Yeah, he made that comment in the first few sentences he said in regard to them bringing up Gwen. And I thought, So you see Lisa trying to interject, she's not doing a good job because he's mad. And then the fact that John has jumped in to, go ahead and try, which, if somebody's coming for you, because Todd does have a tone. He does have a way,
That's why I would never go toe-to with him.
No. So, I mean, talking to a woman, I mean, your husband back there, he's going to say something. But
100%.
Y'all, I'm ready for part 2.
Me too.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to talk to you about real quick, Joey, before we wrap it up. I saw, I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you saw this, but the clip where Mary was being interviewed, and she mentioned that because they were asking about how much time she got on the reunion, and she said maybe an hour at best. She felt like, I guess, that she wasn't heard much, and she alluded to prior to things really turning up for her with maybe her and Robert Jr.'s part, that production kind of tried to cut her out some this season, but then they had to bring her back and write in more scenes for her.
Where did you see that? No.
It was a clip in one of the fan groups. I'll have to find it and get that to you, but I was like, because Mary was breakout, but what I think what she was trying to say was, before that happened, they were trying to minimize it, and then after, as the season was progressing, all of the outpouring of the fans being here for Mary like they brought her in more roles, or more of a role in the season. So
wow, I would say that's like crazy, because she was like definitely like a breakout star.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I mean, people just like fell in love with her in this season.
They absolutely did.
That's crazy. I mean, at the reunion, getting an hour wouldn't surprise me. You're on a dais with like Lisa Barlow, who can never let anyone get a word in.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I mean, that's like shocking to me, especially because I feel like, what do we keep saying, right? And I would watch a whole show about just like Mary and Angie.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Honestly,
I totally would too. So
yeah, she doesn't need the housewives. Bravo needs them.
Right. I think it was an attempt at first, but no, honey. Mary's here to stay. So
yeah,
I just thought that was interesting. Didn't know if you had seen it, but
no, this is like one of those casts like the US should not touch.
I agree.
It's like a Miami. Like, do not touch it. It is perfection.
Well, yeah, I have already heard. I don't know if it's confirmed that they've all been asked back. So
I heard the same rumors. I even heard that they're bringing Brittany back.
Yeah, but you know what? After I did do a little talk on the finale, as aggravating as she was, she made for some good moments in the season. I can see why they chose to bring her back.
Well, because she's crazy, right?
Yes.
And even the memes alone,
Yes.
Guys, what about me?
Yes. It was good TV. And
I have an announcement. We get it. Every event you're gonna have an announcement. It's gonna be tone deaf and nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Exactly. So love or hate. She did add to a couple of comedic moments, and God knows I will forever love the whole video and on the van. So listen. That will go down in history.
It will.
Yeah. So guys, as always, thanks for coming over and listening to us talk about the shows we love. Slide in the comments and let us know what you thought of the part 1 of the reunion, and let us know what you thought about the season as a whole, and what did you think about Best Look? Who were your favorites? Who did you not think had it going on this time? Let us know. Slide in the comments. And if you haven't yet, please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. Joey, last words, over to you.
I got nothing really much. I'm just excited for part 2. The husbands are out. The husbands always change up the vibe of a reunion. So
yeah,
I'm curious. I feel like Sean probably has very strong opinions. We see a weird dynamic with Meredith and Seth, which isn't uncommon, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited, and I'm very sad that Salt Lake is ending, because I feel like it's gonna leave a huge hole.
Huge.
In the Bravo universe.
Yes.
What are we gonna do?
The rest of them, you get moments here, but they are not as engaging as Salt Lake City has been. And so you're right.
What are we getting back recently?
Yeah, nothing.
Atlanta?
I'm a watch, but I don't. I'm so nervous because I have zero. Like, I'm almost like, but of course I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good, guys. Ugh. And I'm so disappointed in so many. I'm disappointed in Potomac. You know,
Oh my God. Potomac's like become like a job to watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to next I think next week is the finale. So yeah.
That reunion better be one part because we have nothing to talk about.
They claim it's going to be better than the binder that the one when Monique came with her binder. Child, I don't believe it. Andy does that to make people watch. But we'll see, y'all. Again.
I know. Salt Lake, what are we going to do?
I don't know. But we got 2 more weeks and we're going to just hold on until the end. So all right, guys, you got to come back so you can hear us talk about part 2. And again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.